semi-subsistence farms, even 11 million if we include the subsistence farms. And there are millions of people who work in these farms, whose everyday life depends on these farms, who are waiting from us, for a positive signal referring to their future, to the future of small farms, to the future of family farms, for the future of the small producers in Europe. There are whole regions in the EU where small farms play a crucial role, not only economically speaking, but also socially speaking, and also from the point of view of the environment. There are areas, like the area where we are now, and as far as I understand, tomorrow you will have some field trips so there are areas where the small producer is support the idea of economic performance in agriculture, and it should be supported by the common agricultural policy. But the reduction of the number of farms following the restructuring process could be a consequence, but not an objective of this process. And this is a concept which is not necessary and not even sufficient for real restructuring. The structure of farms depends on the development pattern, which in turn depends on the type of agricultural and food consumption that we have in mind. When we speak about restructuring, we should think about, concentration of farms, and in very many areas in Europe, this is an objective and it is feasible, but there are very many areas in the European Union where increasing competitiveness in agriculture is not identical to increasing the size of farms. We can gain in competitiveness by increasing the added value of the products which come from the respective farm, which could generate the economic performance of the respective farm. So if we start from this analysis and from this type of reasoning, then I can think about the future of semi-subsistence farms as part of the restructuring of the farms. And I would like to strengthen this idea by telling you that when small producers are not offered alternatives, the consequences can be obvious, because we are left with unworked land and the rural areas are depopulated. So eliminating semi-subsistence farms without creating an alternative does not necessarily trigger increased competitiveness of larger farms. On the contrary, we can be faced with exits from agriculture. But before speaking about the future of the common agricultural policy and the measures that we have in mind to support small farms, let me underline three aspects. First of all, today's European agriculture in 27 member state EU is a diverse type of agriculture. Public European policies must integrate this diversity and make use of it, because this is a fact of life. I don't think that there is a unique pan-European model which should meet the requirements of all the regions in Europe, at least when we speak about the 27 EU. Public European policies must facilitate access to the market, and I underlined it, access to the market for all types of holdings, large and small, mountainous or field, northern or southern. Secondly, economic competitiveness is not a prerogative of large farms, as I said before. Competitiveness can be provided by the diversity of the production structures. To the extent that the structure can be marketed on a well-organized market. In a certain context of production, small farms can find their place on the market, and I have in mind the local markets, the regional markets, products having a high added value, quality products.